I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hi there, how you going? It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Dr. Mike Gustafson. I'm Aaron Dickens. We'd love to hear what you have to say on the Yates Flooring Center chat line at Double T 97.3.com. This is something that we've been expecting, but now it is official. Texas Tech officially announcing this about an hour ago. The game that had been scheduled against Oregon for next season on September 7th has been pushed back. In its place, Tech will play at Washington State next September 7th. The Cougars will make a return trip, or at least they're scheduled to make a return trip to Texas Tech in 2032. And Oregon will host the Red Raiders in 2033.
Nothing new there, but official, as you're saying, and I'm good with it. I was amazed at the level of angst last week from just the hue and cry over that. Which I'm not saying that to diminish everyone's opinion. Fire away, but I did. Seemed like to me it was. Trading Oregon for Washington State, still a road trip, still going to be a challenge. Some critics of this move are viewing it as like going back to Wyoming. I don't think that's accurate, at least not at this point in time. And the little interesting nugget about it was the idea that it's another former Mike Leach team that will have the box that we will have checked that box. Which has nothing to really do with it. It's just kind of a little footnote.
It'll be it's been a minute since Tech will have played in the state of Washington. Do you remember the last time they went to the Apple State?
I do. I'm going to go. It was a Gabe Rivera coming out party.
Yeah.
Gabe lost to those dudes like I believe they were number one in the country, University of Washington. Yeah. I'm going to go Aaron Dickens. I'm going to go 1982.
82.
Yes.
Bonus point for the final score.
Yes. Ooh, all right. Hang on. I'm going I know it was low. It was like a 14-7, 14-10, 10-7, 17-14, kind of one of those things. I'll go, dang it. I'll go 14-7.
You gave both offenses too much credit. It was 10-3.
10-3.
10-3.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And that was week 7.
Yeah.
Of the season. Right? So this was not some kind of early season matchup with a, team that was just thought to be good. This was the week 7 matchup with a team that was proven and tested and really good.
Yeah, deep into the season, really good. And that, I believe you can YouTube that. Go to YouTube, do Texas Tech, Texas Tech, Washington. You might need to do 1982. I don't think so. But a couple things that are memorable about that YouTube clip, and I think I'm right about this. This was a stretch in which John Facenda, narrated our Tech Hall of Fame videos. And that's the voice from all the old NFL films things when I was a kid, 60s and 70s, and it's the guy that Berman is imitating when he talks about the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Well, yeah, Facenda actually never said those words, even though they're widely attributed to him. But Facenda narrates the 1982 season highlight film, which I'm sure was literally a film at that point, shown to the Red Raider Club and on the circuit throughout the year. And one of the highlights, probably the most memorable play, maybe indicative of the sad state of affairs at that point in time was Gabe Rivera, like a little QB. I don't remember if it was a QB scramble or maybe a little option thing, but QB gets loose and it's a 60-yard run. I mean, it's a long run, probably from their own 20 down to our 30 or whatever.
Would have been Tech's longest run of the season.
Yeah, this year. It was probably a little bit like that. And Gabe Rivera chases down the Washington starting quarterback after a 50-yard run. Like, now I'm not saying he was outrunning DBs and whatever, but it was just Gabe coming from the backside. And it was at that moment, and I'm sure the NFL scouts knew about him and all that stuff, but it was at that moment that, teenage me was thinking, man, like we knew he was our best player. Mm-hmm. We knew he was making all the tackles every game.
You didn't know he was a freak.
We did, yes. And then he's the first-round pick of the Steelers, kind of a, I don't know, I'd guess 20th overall type pick, something like that, 15th, 20th maybe. And then paralysis, car wreck, paralysis, all that. But he, that's a highlight. I mean, if you were going to pick, I hate to say that's a signature play but so much of what happens for a defensive tackle is a sack or a tackle for a loss or whatever. But like his signature play is running down a dude 50 yards downfield, just bonkers
in a loss.
Yeah, and a 10-3 loss at the number one team in the country. The other thing about it is there was a camera walking around on the field, and this is shown in the YouTube clip, and it's one of those enormous, big old white dude offensive lineman for Washington shaking hands with the Tech guys, like out on the field, and the handshake scrum, going, man, we glad to see you guys get out of town, like as a respect, because you guys, got all they wanted from a team that I'm sure Tech, when they went in there, as you said, it was week 7. If I had to guess, 2-4 or something. And
they were 3-4.
There you go. Really. So that interesting setup. The Washington and they put a date on that game too. This Washington State game coming up this September. It's week 2.
Yeah, week 2,
not Labor Day. I think you and I talked about that. We'll open on Labor Day Saturday, I guess, or Labor Day weekend for sure with Abilene Christian. And a brand spanking new facility and all the things, but then at Washington State and then home for North Texas.
That UW game, that was tied for the fewest points allowed, fewest points scored for UW that season. They also only scored 10 in a win over 9th-ranked UCLA on November 6th. They finished the season 10-2. They finished second in the Pac-10. They also lost to Stanford, and that seemed like that
would have been a John Elway, maybe?
Well, they weren't ranked, so I would guess it was pretty massive upset. They lost 31-43, and then they also lost to Wazoo. How about that? In the Apple Cup?
That was probably painful.
Yeah, the Cougs 3-7-1 on the season. That was one of their 3 wins.
So that was
they probably celebrated that one.
Yeah,
bigly.
Yeah, no doubt. Beating your arch rival and knocking them out of whatever.
Yeah, because
what was their bowl that year?
Well, they would have gone to the Rose Bowl, right? Because they would have won the Pac-12 because they would have had the tiebreaker over UCLA. But instead, they went to the Aloha Bowl and beat Maryland 21-20. Finished the season ranked 7th.
Okay, all right, solid. Yeah, that was back when the number of bowls were scarce,
limited, scant.
Yep.
We'll have Thursday Night Football for you coming up tonight on 100.7 The Score. Chargers at the Raiders. That coverage starts at 6:30.
Quarterfinal action for the Seamen tonight. Gotta have it. You know what it is? It's father-son violence right here.
Really?
Yeah. Me versus Brooksy. Loser goes home. How about that? How about that? On a weekend, we're going to celebrate his sister and my daughter's Texas Tech master's degree. He and I will be bludgeoning each other there over in the corner.
Kind of weird that it's your Seaman, right?
Right.
Your fantasy football team, the Lubbock Seamen, facing off against your son.
Get it right. South Lubbock Seamen.
Sorry, South Lubbock Seamen.
Because if South faces north, it's You throw out the record books on that. It's
More
Yeah.
tech talk next.
The podcast that finishes your workday in a very Red Raider way. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hi there, how you going? It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3, Double T 97.3.com with Gus. I'm Aaron. Would love to get your thoughts and your comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line at Double T 97.3.com. We get this on the chat line from our friend Lindell Jeff. Hearing Dr. Mike say corn nuts smell like ass and AD talking about loading up for an SBD on the airplane was funny. I replayed it for a Baylor friend and he downloaded the app. I had to tell him how buttoned down you two usually are, but y'all, after a couple of years, are as funny as any of the Dallas sports radio shows. Y'all are making my afternoon. Thank you, Jeff. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that. Hopefully we're not... boring your Baylor friend.
No, what do we need to do to be unhinged right now?
I don't know.
To impress our new listener.
I feel like Jack to the Nips was a pretty good start.
That was solid, yeah. It's almost as if you knew we had a new listener.
I had like a spidey tingle.
Yeah.
I
like it.
All right, so there are 6 bowl games tomorrow. 7 if you count the Cricket Celebration Bowl, the HBCU Classic deal. How do you feel about Georgia Southern and Ohio in tomorrow's Myrtle Beach Bowl?
Maction?
Half
Next
question.
question.
Of it, sure.
Next question.
Okay. I'm curious if you know this.
Mac to the house.
Tech is playing in what bowl game tomorrow?
The Independence Bowl.
Do you know the sponsor's name of that bowl?
Used to be the Poulan Weed Eater.
It ain't.
It used to be the company that makes Sharpies, too, in 98. Sanford.
You're not getting bonus points for going into the past year.
In 98, they brought, because I had a credential, hard-working media. I told you I did Silence for the
Everybody got free Sharpies?
Yes, absolutely. The little gift bag, the little thing. It had a little dry erase doodad, like a football with the Sanford logos in the end zone, like as if you wanted to. I could have taken that out to a Pee Wee game the next week and diagrammed the tango defense for you. And the Sharpies all had like the Independence Bowl stuff on it and everything. I can't. No, I don't know. That's bad, isn't it?
Radiance Technologies.
I'll be darned.
Do you know?
Local, I'm going to guess that's a local company.
Do you know what they do?
No. Let's see. Radiance Technologies.
Yeah, they're located in, I think, Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. Wow.
But they provide intelligence analysis and warfighter support to the intelligence community and Department of Defense to enable effective military operations. How about that?
Well, that's cool. I wonder what they see as the return on being title sponsor of a bowl.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we need to get our name out there because blank. Because you would think that a company like this, their marketing is going to be way more, B2B kind of relation stuff as opposed to
fancy B2B.
Yeah, you like that? As opposed to being out there advertising to the populace. But maybe we're going to find out when we watch the game and watch commercials and stuff. Who knows?
New Mexico State takes on Fresno State in the New Mexico Bowl. Do you know the sponsor of that game?
I do not. No.
It's, and I may be mispronouncing this. It is Isleta, Isleta.
I believe that's Isleta.
Isleta.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Do you know what they do?
Oh. There's a high school. There's Isleta High School in El Paso. I know that. I think so.
I think it is a resort and casino.
Oh, there we go.
How about that?
Yep.
and we might have already talked about this. Do you know the title sponsor for the LA Bowl?
And
we've talked about this.
And
I'm not expecting you to remember it, but we have talked about it.
And that's the Los Angeles Bowl.
Yes, Los Angeles. Starco Brands.
How would I don't recall that conversation.
Because they have like the movie theater butter popcorn spray.
Really?
They have whip shots, where they've partnered with Cardi B to bring the only alcoholic whipped cream to the market. They've also got a fragrance and Soylent, which is a meal replacement drink.
Boy, not sure I like I assume that's SOY.
Yeah, Soylent. Like Soylent Green.
I hear that, and I hear SOIL.
Oh, yeah. Dirt.
Makes me wonder how the
Yummy.
how the focus group testing went on that name. It feels like there's a Saturday Night Live skit in this somewhere.
Well, I guess
Soylent.
In fairness to Starco Brands, I think Soylent was acquired by them, and it's been around for a decade plus.
Okay.
I tried it one time. It's disgusting. And I think it was just a bunch of nerds just trying to like replace all food with a drink. And so, Soylent Green, the old science fiction deal, Charles Heston, the whole
Got it. Okay.
Soylent Green is people. Let's see. Some of these are like obvious, right? Like, what Lockheed Martin does.
Yep.
I
would ask the same question about Lockheed Martin, though. What's the return for them? That's about government. It's not like Gus and Aaron are going to go, oh, Lockheed Martin, next time I'm ordering my helicopter, I need to check LockheedMartin.com. It's now it could be that they view it as it's a major industry in the place where the bowl is being played, and so it's a way to pitch their.
Yeah, I mean that bowl game is in Fort Worth, and I don't know that there's just a whole bunch of defense contractor jobs in the Metroplex. I could be wrong, but it is the Armed Forces Bowl.
Yeah,
and so I think there's
sense.
The link.
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
that's because that was the helicopter deal. Was there in?
Speaking of helicopters,
yeah, so that makes sense. Okay. In other words, I would see that as a probably a significant employer viewing that as this is us wrapping our arms around our town and showing what a great place it is, celebrating our workers, celebrating the whatever, all the things that are good for tourism and our educated workforce and all that.
Quick correction, Saturday. The games are Saturday. Right?
Yeah, you did say tomorrow, but that wasn't going to happen.
I'm not going to be here tomorrow, so today is my Friday.
Friday, yep.
More tech talk next.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hi there, how you going? It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Gus. I'm Aaron. Today is Thursday, just by the way. I know that.
I know you disappointed half the town right there.
Yeah, today is Thursday. We'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line at doublet973.com. We'll have Thursday Night Football for you on 100.7 The Score, with that coverage beginning at 6:30. This in the chat line, upon further review, somebody says Lockheed Martin has a huge presence in Fort Worth and Arlington. All the F-22s were made there. F-35s also, I believe. All right. Well, wow. I did not know that.
I like it.
Yeah. This in the chat line. My daughter's boyfriend works for Lockheed Martin in military aircraft design and troubleshooting. There are many jobs to be had there via the Air Force, but I'm not sure what benefit they get from sponsoring a bowl game.
Yeah, it's got to be just supporting the, just something you would do to be civic-minded toward an effort like hosting a bowl game, right? If Texas Tech were to have not Texas Tech. If Lubbock were to have the Lubbock Bowl or whatever, it would be, you're probably going to be in trouble if you're just the Lubbock Bowl. It would need to be the fill in the blank bank bowl or pick an industry, the United Supermarkets Bowl or something like that.
Cotton Farmers of America Bowl. The also Cotton Bowl.
Absolutely. I mean, the sorghum.
The actual Cotton Bowl.
The sorghum bowl. Yeah, but it would be tough if there wasn't some corporate something there.
Yeah, like I appreciate the value of sponsorships, and I think that in a lot of instances there is value there, right? Like I probably say Yates Flooring Center chat line 100 times every week. And so if you're out there in the listening area and you need any kind of flooring needs, and you listen to this show or any of the other shows on the station, but usually hopefully ours at least, that's going to be top of mind, right? I don't know that there are many people out there, to kind of use your example from earlier, that are in the market for a helicopter.
Right.
You know? And I don't know what that really gives you. Because Lockheed Martin, their biggest customer is the United States government.
Military, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
Right, and I don't think that the people that are counting the beans in our nation's capital, or making those decisions are swayed by, well, we were going to go with Boeing, but Lockheed Martin sponsors that kind of mid-tier bowl game. Might want to get some of that bowl game swag, Yeah, that seems weird.
It's got to be civic. You know what I mean? It's got to be a civic thing, as opposed to a true marketing effort, at least with regard to that one. Because it's just not a consumer-driven thing. It's got to be something that's just, hey, this is great for Fort Worth. We're going to contribute to this effort. The fact that it's also attached to the Armed Forces Bowl makes a huge difference.
Well, I think probably as the title sponsor, you have some say over what it's called. To me this is like marketing executives that make hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to justify their salaries. Like, hey boss, whoa, hold on we got you a bowl game, man. You are gonna get to give somebody a trophy.
Well,
And you know what? That's a great idea. Here's a 10% raise. By
broadening it to Armed Forces Bowl, you probably have, brass in from Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. I don't know. Maybe all of them. Or Coast Guard.
Hey.
Space Force.
Yeah, I got to mention the Space Force, dude.
That's right.
They're an equal branch now.
Yes. I'll call it the Space Force. But think about it. You get all the entertainment and all the VIP opportunities, just full on schmooze level. Hey, this is where we get to entertain. General so and so's coming in. There's probably in the military complex industry. That's probably big doings, right?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm guessing that their little known footnote to the development of the F-22 is that the deal was finally agreed upon before an Armed Forces Bowl matchup between Army and San Jose State. How about that? I just made that up.
I don't remember. Was that game set prior to this past Saturday? As the winner goes to Fort Worth to play San Jose State? Or do we know that?
Well, Air Force is in this game.
Oh, okay, my bad. I guess the winner of Army Navy with them both being 5 and 6. I can't remember.
I don't think Navy is in a bowl game.
No, I don't think they are. That's what I'm saying. But I think going into that game, it was 5 and 6 the other day.
I think they were both 5 and 6.
Army Navy. That's what I'm saying. Was that set for? Hey, the winner goes to the Weed Eater Bowl or whatever. And I don't remember that. I don't remember that being part of the broadcast. Like, the implications are obvious. Loser stays home. Winner goes to Poughkeepsie.
Yeah, they're not eligible for a bowl game this year for some reason.
Huh.
I don't know why. They're 6-6.
I'll be darned.
Huh. I wonder if that's like conference affiliation related. This on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I saw Little Gus at the president's holiday party yesterday. Great spread and champagne.
Wow. Champagne, huh? That was...
Talking about your son, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that was the president's, the president's reception, kind of big, cool little end of the Christmas, into the fall little gathering that the president hosts every year. Used to be in the UC ballroom. Now it's over at the Fraser. But a lot of folks on campus, kind of a cool hang. But yeah, he was I think he said my dad came, which that'll show up at that stuff. Son of retired professor stuff, His wife's still on the faculty. So, but yeah, and he handed Brooks my son a kind of a glass paperweight deal shaped like a diamond, I guess. I should have brought it. I should have shown it to you. But on the bottom of it is a GTE logo, which they were the sponsor of the Cotton Bowl and whatever, and it had the Southwest Conference logo in it. And I think it was something that I got around that 1989 75th year anniversary thing for the Southwest Conference.
How about that?
Yeah. Then, so I'm going to, it's really cool. My instinct is to give it to the Southwest collection and say, here, this needs to be part of your collection, because there's not much 75th anniversary stuff floating around. Seem like it'll be a big deal in another 25 years.
This person says on the Yates Flooring Center chat line, the Chinese government is shaking in their boots that an American aerospace company has enough spare cash to sponsor a bowl game. Major flex.
Yes. Might need to we may need to just get a room full of hackers, right? And that seems like a bunch of that's where a lot of this stuff is taking place, right?
Space Force will protect us, don't worry. More Tech Talk next.
The podcast that finishes your workday in a very Red Raider way. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hi, how are you? Good afternoon. It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Gus, I'm Aaron. We'd love to hear what you have to say today on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. You can weigh in at Double T 97.3.com. Somebody has this. Can y'all confirm transfer Davion Carter coming aboard? That would be huge. We can. We can confirm that. He's announced that commitment. He did that on Twitter earlier today. He is from Memphis. Well, he comes from the football program at Memphis, where he was one of the highest graded, at least according to Pro Football Focus, offensive linemen in the country. I think Rivals has him as a top 5 O lineman in the portal. Rivals has him as a 4-star portal prospect. And this is a starter for you up front next year, no doubt.
And he, like Vinny Curry, has started a bunch of games, more than 20 games. Looks like Davion Carter started 23 games the past 2 seasons. So this is a Lake-ready dude. He played guard at Memphis. That's interesting, because we would be looking at Jackson as one of the 2 returners. I'm going blank on his first name. That played a bunch this year. Probably started half the games. Mm-hmm. For the ailing Cole Spencer. Played at guard. Memphis guard Davion Carter. Again, assuming guard. So that may be the tea leaves for the Caleb Rogers to the middle, maybe Caleb Rogers to center. which means we're hunting a tackle, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're done trying to land portal offensive line help, but at the very least, it gives you options.
Oh, sure.
Right? I mean, if Rodgers needs to play tackle, you know that he can at a pretty decent clip,
Serviceable level. Yep.
yeah. You have the cross training gives you some depth. Your manufacturing depth because you don't have great depth, at least not yet.
And our starting tackle for Monroe Mills this weekend will be back next year. Is that help me? That's not Landon Peterson, is it?
He's in the portal.
No, he's in the portal. I'm getting it's the other one. Ty Buchanan. He's the starting tackle, I think, for Monroe Mills this weekend. Not tomorrow, but Saturday.
Right, Saturday, because today is Thursday.
This ticket's struggling with that.
This on the Yates Flooring Center chat line is Josh Kelly transferring to Texas Tech. So Josh Kelly, for those that are not familiar, is a wide receiver transfer out of Washington State. Just today, he announced on Twitter, I guess formally, that he was leaving Wazoo. Or at least he posted his kind of goodbye message. I think Texas Tech is in a really good spot for him. I think that there are some national analysts out there that would tell you that Texas Tech leads for Josh Kelly. He reportedly had a visit planned for Utah, I guess, this weekend. He has canceled that visit. I think people kind of view that as good news for the Red Raiders. But he has not yet announced anything. But tell you what, if you get Josh Kelly along with Caleb Douglas, with Micah Hudson coming in the traditional recruiting class, they're signing a week from yesterday. That's a pretty nice, pretty nice haul. Yeah,
yep, reshape that receiver room. I like it. And we ain't even talking about Conyers yet, did we?
No, yeah.
I mean, there's two tight ends, one of whom is most certainly a proven Lake Ready guy. Could have Mason Tharp back, or should have Mason Tharp back. I know he's plagued by injuries this year. I like it. Assemble those weapons.
Looking at a picture of the Shohei Ohtani introductory press conference is today. And there is a massive line, or at least there was. No, still probably is massive. Massive line of media.
Oh wow, that's
waiting
media
to get in.
Like if you said those were fans, I'd go, okay, nice little haul there.
Man,
yeah, that's like every rider in Southern California.
I'll just catch it on the stream. You know, right now in Cali though, it is it's like 70 something, 76. Not bad.
We also had a little Lubbock Christian University news today. Andrew Sorrells, former Red Raider basketball player, is their new athletic director.
How about that?
Yeah, really interesting. I mean, he's young. 25 years old, maybe 26? Yep, 26-year-old. So good for him. That's I mean, if he's aspirational in the athletic administration department, what a thing to have on your resume at age 26.
What does that is the next step there either, because we're already, I mean, assuming he does well there,
yeah,
right,
sure.
And doesn't decide to be a lifer, is the next move there an AD spot and another D2 program, or is it like an associate AD spot at a Power 5?
I would guess the latter. I wouldn't dare say that with complete authority.
Not specific to Andrew. Just generally speaking.
It would make sense to me that the next move is to go be the number 2 somewhere, like the number 2 at a Division.
Who does number 2 work
school.
For, though?
Number 1. May I answer your question?
Well, Austin Powers.
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah. And I would think that would be like a nice, because
nice step up.
Well, you'd be able to say that, hey, look, my chief deputy or whatever, he's experienced running his own shop.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I would think that would be a big leg up.
Especially at age 26. And, I think about, I wonder who the candidates would be if Kirby stepped down in 3 years. I mean, where would the candidate pool...
I would submit an application.
Why
are you laughing?
Would the candidate...
Why are you laughing?
Would the candidate pool come within our current structure of number twos? Or would it be, what's our farm system? Because there are...
I'm right here.
Yeah. So am I, then. If you're
more
getting
Tech
in.
Talk next.
It's every Red Raiders' favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hi there, how you going? It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Gus. I'm Aaron. We'd love to get your thoughts and your comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line at Double T 97.3.com. Lumberjack has this. Is it weird that some of the team, some members of the team, weren't even alive for the previous game versus Cal?
Yeah, it's tough to think about when you go 2004, Yeah. That's a little painful for an old guy like me.
It seems pretty safe to say that no one on the team watched the game or can remember watching the game.
True.
I was watching it in Houston. That was winter break. I had just gotten back from Spain that month.
Oh, that's right. That was your
that was the first and only Tech football game that I watched live on television that season. I tuned in for bits and pieces on a janky web stream of the Texas game that year. Have I told you that story?
No. Well, tell it, because we talked about how you and your roommate would try to consume games overseas. It was a challenge.
Yeah, it was a challenge. Time difference was the biggest thing. Then the internet, even back then, was not what it is now. And it wasn't like a lot of folks there had internet kind of piped into their apartments or their homes or whatever. At least not our house mom. So our really only reliable internet connection was at the internet cafe down the street. And it wasn't a 24-hour
that's
deal.
Right. Yeah. That's
so
right.
We weren't ever able to just kind of catch it there. And so we really wanted to watch the Texas game. That was a game, I think, going in, I think it felt like you could hang there, right? Because your other two home games, you scored 70 points. And so one of my roommates and I conspired to hide out at the university after hours and, use their Ethernet. And so we did, and we plugged in our laptops, and, it was not the best quality. It's not like today, obviously, but we got to watch it, and it was just a butt whooping. It was a butt whooping. It was like 52-17. It was some kind of super lopsided affair. And we had to stay in that damn place until morning because it was way out in the boonies. You could only get there by car or bus.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to wait until 10 o'clock the next morning for the first bus.
Wow.
Because it was going to be, it was a Sunday.
Yeah. That's commitment.
Yeah. It was a good story. It was just a terrible time. Where were you for that Holiday Bowl?
I had friends that went, and I think I've got a T-shirt. But I was just at the house watching, as I recall. Yep, and was giddy giddy and enjoying that game the way really the last two bowl games. These last two bowl games against the Mississippis. Just controlling things.
Yeah, it's been a while since you were in a dogfight.
Yeah.
Bowl-wise.
Just controlling things, yeah.
This on the Yates Flooring Center chat line, somebody suggests the Fruit Bowl in Lubbock, sponsored by August Fried Pie.
Yeah, that's solid. Yep, can't argue with that. That's uniquely ours. I like it.
Has your optimism level for next season been affected in a notable way by the last few days, the portal activity over the last few days?
Absolutely. It feels like these dudes that we're targeting, we're getting now. Maybe we threw, and it feels like it's a. It feels like it's a. I don't know. The list of targets associated with these guys is pretty good. Not every guy, but we beat Davion Carter among his. When you see the other offers, it gives you a sense, right, of what we're talking about here.
You're not beating South Alabama.
You got it. And
right.
Vinny Curry, yesterday's offensive lineman, would beat Auburn and Ole Miss. You talked about that yesterday. Among Davion Carter's suitors, Boston College, Michigan State, among the suitors for Jalen Conyers. Of course, that's the tight end from Arizona State. OU had gotten back in the game on that one, apparently. That's who you want to be winning recruiting battles with, right? There's two corners. Interestingly, the Canadian kid that we got the commitment from in the last day or two, the Canadian, I believe, corner that runs a 4.3, seems like he fits sort of our toolsy category.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had the 6'9" junior college offensive lineman the other day. The corner that runs a 4.3 from Guelph, Canada, his other offer was from West Virginia. I mean, that's just, that I don't know anything about the guy, but I'm going, well, that seems like we're where we need to be.
You ever been to Guelph, Canada?
I've been to Ontario. I've been to Guelph.
This has been the Tech Talk Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.